As my welding idol IC Weld says, it's not the best, it's not the worst. G'day folks, it's DIY Guy 123 here, bringing you another do-it-yourself video. Do you want to learn how to replace a rocker skin so that it's going to last 20 years and you could go in a car show and win? Well, this is not the video for you. But if you want to learn how to patch a rocker skin problem in less than an hour, hang on and we'll show you how. Go from having a rocker panel that looks like this to one that looks like this. You don't need a ton of tools. You do need to be able to cut the old rusty metal out and weld the new metal in and also prep the areas. So you can do pretty much all of that with an angle grinder, with a cutting wheel. I have an air compressor and a big air hammer, so I'm gonna use an air chisel to cut some of it. You can also use sheet metal cutters like this. I'll cut this outer skin off, and then I'm gonna vacuum all the debris out from inside and then really inspect the inner panel. If your inner rocker panel is bad, then you should replace it because it's just a structural part of the vehicle. But if your inner rocker panel is good, then it's acceptable to just put the skin over the top. And you can definitely do this job without a hoist. It does make it easier to be working at a comfortable height. However, if you drive one side of the wheels up on blocks, you get it up in the air enough, that'll be fine too. It would be very helpful if this running board was not in the way. But again, I want to make this a short project, not an all-day thing. This one is held on to two frame bolts. They go up through the rocker panel mounts, into the body mounts, and into the frame. And I do not want to disturb those bolts that have been there for almost 20 years. If I break one of them off, this becomes a whole other big project. So as annoying as it is, I'm going to work around this running board and just leave it there. Now, if you're really good at fabricating metal and making intricate bends, then maybe it's cheaper for you to buy the sheet metal and bend your own. But I'm guessing if you're watching my video, you want to do like I did and pay 65 bucks for a preformed sheet. It's got the proper profile for this truck. I told them the year, how many doors it has, and they handed me this for 65 bucks, and it's the perfect profile. You have to make a decision. How much of this rocker skin do you want to replace? My cab corners are good. I'm only going to cover from here forward to here, and leave this front cab corner alone. I've already cut my new panel to fit right on there. So next thing is to cut out the old skin and see what's underneath. Here. I'm gonna try with an air chisel to see if that goes any quicker. It may not. And a cutting bit, it works okay. It's hard to control when you're working around something like this. I'll probably go back to using the angle grinder with a cutting disc. Here's yet another style of bit. You can control the direction much easier than the other one. So we're gonna vacuum out this area to clean up some of the debris. Remember what I said about a rocker skin replacement goes under an hour if you just do the cheap fix like I'm doing? Well, that's true until you get into inner rocker panel problems. It's missing right here, so it's significant corrosion in this one area, but it's minor everywhere else. So I've made this piece like this, I've cut it out and shaped it. It's just a piece of angle iron out of an old shelf, a piece of racking actually, and it fits right up in there. And I'm gonna tack that in place, and that'll give me the lip under here for my rocker skin. So the next thing we're gonna do to prepare this rocker skin is drill holes along the bottom edge every couple inches. And these are gonna be your spot welds. Put a piece of wood underneath it, and you can go quite quickly. Okay, so I put the rocker skin back in place, and through each of the holes I drilled it, I marked them all and took a marker along there and then took the skin away. And then I took a die grinder with a sander attachment on it, and I just cleaned all the paint off of those areas. These are gonna be all my spot welds. Now we're gonna put it on and tack it in place. So I've got it tacked every few inches all along here. And now we're gonna do the bottom. So I've got a few tacks on the bottom. And that's all I'm gonna do is tack it through those holes that I drilled. So effectively a spot weld. As my welding idol IC Weld says, it's not the best, it's not the worst. The whole thing is welded in now, and there was a gap between the new rocker skin and the old cab corner right here. You'd ideally fill it with a type of waterproof sealant Well, I don't have it with me. I want this done right now. I've sanded it, used rust converter on it, and now I'm filling the pits with body filler. So I just took my body filler and just smushed it in that gap. So at the rocker panel seam, you can either take some sealant and seal it up, or just ram some body filler in there like I've done. And as long as it's not shown when the door's shut, we're good to go. Sand over the whole thing and then wipe it down with acetone to get any oils or any kind of residue off before I prime it. Probably should have a rubber glove on. Let's shoot a little primer on this thing. Ooh, green. We have our newly painted rocker panel. Well, that'll wrap up this rocker panel skin replacement. Takes about an hour if you don't have to deal with the inner rocker panel repair, and it's a job that you can do yourself. Good luck with your do-it-yourself project.